quickly give my opinions on the Avatar live action.
Okay, well, real quick.
Man,
Grim.
derail this train.
So real quick. So Grim asked the question: do you think Roger's gonna like the chapter? Sure.
Okay, so we were discussing this during the live stream about like what we thought were the best and low points. I'm just gonna keep it simple. The best points in this, shockingly enough, was the CGI. I actually thought they did a spectacular job with the background and settings. Creatures, for the most part, I thought looked good. There were times where Appa and Momo could use some work. The bendings, how it looked, effect-wise, were really, really good. And costume design was also on point. The stuff that irked me the most, going descending order of worse, I would say like the least thing that irked me, but it was still something they could work on, is the actual combat of the bending. For the most part, our main cast were pretty good. Katara could use a little bit more work, but she got some stuff at the end. Aang's pretty solid. Zuko was on par. Like they really did get his like breakdancing, fire bending shit down to a T. It's just that a lot of the other background characters felt like they were doing more magic shit and just doing movement for the sake of movement. So I understand like not everyone's like a combat expert, so they can't all like perform high quality movement. But into season 2, especially with earthbending and Toph, I really hope they do better with that shit.
Right.
Secondly, I tremendously think a lot of characters needed to act a little bit better. That's not to say the actors weren't good.
Yes.
I think
my God, Aang was a
Aang, it makes sense why he was so terrible. I'm not defending that he was terrible. It just makes sense because they literally said, hey, we're going to make him not fun as he was in this show because, again, they said they wanted to appeal to Game of Thrones audience. As a Game of Thrones fan, I think that was a dumb decision.
What?
Yep, yeah, they said
How are you
that.
going to make Avatar Game of Thrones work?
Yeah, they
how are you going to make that crossover?
They said they wanted to appeal to the Game of Thrones fans in this live action. As a Game of Thrones fan, this was dumb. I think it was incredibly dumb.
They're about 300. They're about 300 dicks short.
Why would you go for the fan base that at this point has become so jaded and skeptical of people redoing IPs? That like, why would you want to choose them?
Not
because
even.
they're like put your shit under a microscope.
The answer is like they're 6 years behind the trends.
I'm just messing. I get your saying.
All the times.
Like, who works at these companies?
It's literally the dumbest thing because you buy this IP for a reason. The reason is there's already established fan base.
Right.
Yet the first thing you do is like, I want this fan base though. I'm like, then why the hell did you buy the IP?
Yeah, why Avatar?
I'm gonna get to that too.
All right. Let's. All
right. So the next thing I want to talk about, with the characters acting, I think the logical thing to talk about. There were some characters, I'm not gonna name names, that maybe shouldn't have played the roles. We all know the one in particular that Cole knows. Maybe we could have hired a different actress. But specifically, not to say that he didn't look the part. I thought Iroh needed some work. For me, Iroh needs some work.
Iroh's the best character.
I know.
Yeah.
I have issues with Iroh. I have issues with this Iroh, not because there weren't times where I didn't get hurt by the flashback. I actually think the flashback is the only good reason why you should watch this live action. I just feel like he doesn't give out a lot of wisdom as he should. He's not as intimidating. Like when he talks to Zhao, like, "Hey, don't fucking kill that fish, or I'll unleash upon you tenfold." Zhao in the live action's like, yeah, okay, old man, whatever. It's like what the fuck? That's a Dragon of the West.
Live action Garp for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Iroh actually was pretty damn good. I thought that Iroh, Zuko were like, not Zuko. Iroh, Zuko, and Sokka. I thought they were actually like good. Like, oh shit, actually.
Sokka was right.
Sokka, I thought was actually like pretty. Like he was actually funny. I'm like, okay, like even though not misogynistic, okay, fair enough. But at the same time, I thought they did for what they were aiming for. I thought they actually did pretty good job with Sokka.
Right.
Yeah, I also like I like Jet
suck,
and
He's gonna suck. Yes,
and he's the main character. I'm like, nigga.
I know.
Maybe it's my fault. Like,
really
please, hey, I get it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm the Avatar. I wasn't there. Like,
yeah. Two things. Two things to end this off on.
I mean, I think people sort of glamorize Aang from season 1. He was pretty obnoxious at times.
He was, but it made sense because he's a kid.
Yeah. No, I had to viciously like keep reminding myself that because he was pissing me off to
Yeah, I don't deny that. There's a lot of dumb stuff. But yeah, so
yes, we know about the YouTube stream. Everybody, thank you. It's a pinned message in chat.
Stop dating.
Cole didn't do it to hate you guys. I promise. I promise.
I know. Trust me. I don't want to fucking block it either.
All right. So the second to last thing, pacing. I think they cut out some stuff that didn't need to be shown, like the Great Divide, the pirate stuff. Fine. However, their pacing is very, very quick. Even if you were coming into this just as a fresh person, it is very, very quick how we wrap plot points up just for the sake of getting them done. But also, I understand that the writers who were the ones mainly finishing this project, because the original creators said, nah, we out, because yeah, I can clearly see why. I understand they were trying to do their own thing, but man, there was a lot of stuff that I felt they messed around for like the wrong reasons. Like, there's like so many plot points I feel like were unnecessarily added from book 2, even though we're in book 1. I don't understand. And then there's comic stuff here, but people say, oh, they couldn't possibly do all of book 1. What the fuck are you talking about? If they could do, like,
was kind of weird. I'm gonna lie to you.
If they could do half of the first part of book 2, and they got comic stuff, and they show Katara's flashback, which is in book 3, why the fuck can't we do more of book 1 or stay close to book 1 as possible? That to me is like irksome as hell. I do not like also Kyoshi Wing. That's my last thing. They cut out too much of Roku. Way too much.
How bad was Boomy?
Boomy destroyed Sokka's character.
Boomy's actually
Boomy was pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Actually,
Boomy was good.
They didn't destroy his character. They really focused on the warrior aspect more, because obviously he's not a subject. So like they focused on him trying to be a leader or warrior, and I just failed at that, and so on and so forth, and how the kind of like how he has to progress as like an individual, as like a warrior, and like the engine, like him, like what he's good at versus like what his duty is. That was more focused in the live action.
They made Sokka's dad a dick out of nowhere. I don't.
Oh, they did. Well, maybe not a dick. I mean, he didn't tell him. He didn't tell him to his face. He told him to his face.
He literally said, "Yeah, I'm just disappointed in my son." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Whoa.
The thing about Boomy is he literally was against his actual character in the anime. Like in the original, it was a test to see if Aang was ready to be the Avatar.
Anime, sir? Now, you mean cartoon?
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean.
Western anime.
Anyways, he was much better in that, where he didn't, like, he was testing Aang. That was the whole thing. In this one, he tested Aang, but then he was like, "You still left us," and then Aang had to save him as a character, which I think is dumb.
Yeah. So Kyoshi just felt like unnecessary wank. I understand why. We all understand 2024. But like Roku, he gets one fucking scene and he doesn't even tell anything about the fucking comet. In fact, they don't know about the comet at all. The one prophecy they substitute with, oh yeah, the North's gonna be under attack soon. Like, what the fuck? Also, a lot of the Avatar wisdom from the past generation, not just Kyoshi, they really just suck. They just suck at giving him advice, which I feel like defeats the whole purpose of the Avatar state. Because it's only up until book 3 that Aang actually says, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. And that's what he does against Ozai. But then, like, for most of the story, he does follow mainly Roku's advice. But they made Roku into this weird gag character, and then Kyoshi's just too overbearing, and Kurok's like, I just can't do shit. Like, all right, well, fuck me then. So yeah, those are my grievances. Again, best stuff, Iroh's flashback. Boomy was solid. The combat stuff was actually on point, very good. And yeah, I explained my grievances. CGI.
You forgot about the squad that was with Zuko, and the reason why they
was
were
actually better. Yeah, Lieutenant G, like Lieutenant G, and how like they actually have them. Be people that are like important in his day to day, like, or like no, like how he saved them from annihilation, and they didn't realize that. I thought that was a very good thing.
Yeah, that was good. That's why flashback stuff is good with Iroh and Zuko. I actually think that's like where their characters shine. I think Zuko as a character, I understand he's trying to portray his angst, but I felt like it came off more as a child tantrum at times. But overall, it could use some work maybe in book 2. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about how they're going to do Toph. I'm going to be real.
Worst part is Azula by far. Like, Azula's by far.
Azula did not need to be here. She didn't need to be here. That was trash. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
thought
My
you-
one big-
I thought it
why.
was Aang. I thought it was
hard to
Aang.
swallow in the original.
Yeah, but
Aang
you
is
have to
not
have
the
an
worst
Aang.
part for me because I know why he's the worst part. They explained ahead of time why he was going to be a terrible part. Azula here was just disturbingly weird.
But Azula felt like, to me, she felt like another version of Zuko, but like a little more successful, and but in the same vein as Zuko, where she should be completely unhinged. She should be just fucking nuts. She should be
Also-
vindictive. She should be like ambitious to the point that's
Psychotic.
that's detrimental. Like, she has to be insane, but she's not that way at all. I'm like,
I hate to be shallow, but that actress, the way she looks like just kind of a chubby cheek 12-year-old,
Yeah.
she just can't pull
No,
it off.
that's
She
not
can't pull the Azula off.
That's just
It's the same thing with Ben
acting.
Beckman.
Like,
Listen,
don't feel
man,
bad for
I'll say it
saying
to him as
that.
well.
She straight up
Yeah.
doesn't look like Azula.
Yeah,
at
she
all.
can't
Yeah.
like because there were a couple times she tried to have the sinister facial expressions, and I'm just like,
didn't work.
it's just not working.
Azula's
It's
known
not
for
working.
having, like,
It looks like
extremely
you just
sharp
saw a Christmas
features.
tray of cookies. It's like, no.
That's my
My one
Like, listen.
complaint on the effects is that, and I think Cole, you said this as well, is that the earth bending lacked physical impact.
Yes.
Yes. And
Let's see,
waterbending
was the
felt
Shaw
like
Boomy
it
was
was
better,
not
but
there.
like certain characters were better. Like Boomy, I think had like a good like snap to his, but the Earthbending needed a lot more force, a lot more like oomph to it. But I think most of the time they levitated the Earth and like they just kind of did like rock boulder smashes, and that was really it.
Yep.
But like Zuko's firebending was on point. Like it was ferocious.
He's the best,
it was
he's the best
mean.
bender.
Oh yeah,
Best bender.
Aang was solid too. Katara got a lot better for sure. But
At
it
the
was
end.
the earth bending was kind of mid. I'm like, this is not
Yes.
because especially when we're going like the next arc where it's going to be because doing all arcs, earthbending focus.
Tough.
Like these guys have to like they have to change earthbending like big time. Like can't be
Yes,
floating
that's why I
rock
said, man.
fire. Like no, it has to be like snappy.
Also, the firebending too. Please stop doing fireball like you're in D&D. It's not how
They
that
do it a
works.
lot.
There's a whole. It's movement, people. Movement. And again, I get it. Like
I
not
can't-
everyone's.
All
can't-
the bending is based
I
on
can't
movement.
remember if they showed the lightning, but I thought that
They
was
did.
pretty
They
good.
They did.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
It was
Yeah,
all right. It was like a zap. And I'm like, that's not lightning. That's a taser. Come on.
But
I
earthbending
mean-
is like so boring unless it's Toph doing it. I feel like.
Sure.
No,
Again.
Boomy was heat.
So-
Boomy was heat, but
She's
like
like one of
Boomy
my
was-
favorite
Boomy
characters
was
of all
Boomy
pretty
as a
time.
good, yeah.
character, by the way. The
I'm
stuff that they
super
changed for him,
nervous.
I actually thought was like I was good. I like
Tough.
the change.
No, with
I
what
think
they
they can
did
do
to
it well,
Boomy-
but depends, you know.
Because they turned Boomy, because I don't care, like, yes, he's crazy in the original, but he had, like, a certain warmth to him
Sure,
Mhm.
sure.
that I don't think was conveyed
Yeah.
at all. He seemed kind
Okay.
of, like, bitter
Mm.
Yes.
in a way, where he
Well,
had he seemed almost, like,
Okay, sure.
altruistic,
Right,
hippie
right.
kind of, like, the
Yes.
universe
Yeah,
wills
sure.
what may type of attitude, but not
So,
in the live action. And
I will
he just
say
seemed super different.
Okay.
because of how Boomy
Yeah.
and Iroh felt about the world in live action, how they're like you said, like they're kind of just bitter
Well,
about how
Iroh
the
was a
world
huge
is.
mistake as well.
Yeah. But because of how they view the world, I really don't know if they will still do the White Lotus stuff. Because there was that White Lotus
Right.
scene in the
Well-
live action, but it's like the White Lotus are a secret society that believe that they can help change the world. Iroh and Boomy in the live action are like, yeah, the world sucks. Like, there's not much
Yeah,
any of
they're
us can do,
so
man.
fucking negative. Whereas Iroh to me was constantly like an oasis. He was an oasis for
Yeah.
Zuko. Zuko would be all pent up, angry, and he would either distract him or try and diffuse him. He's like an oasis incarnate. So to take someone with that kind of like Zen personality and I've seen it in the other like the Shyamalan take as well. They try and give him like a little bit of like a gruffier military man exterior. And it's like that's not what he was written to be. And it just
Sure.
it's never gonna hit. At least for me.
Yeah.
No,
But
I
yeah,
agree.
those are my takes. Overall, my
Okay.
rating, I think it's like a 5 or a 6. I don't think I need to
Yeah,
watch
I, yeah,
season 2.
I give it a 6. So,
'cause I-
you know.
I'm probably not gonna watch season 2. I'll be real, unless people really say like, "Oh wow, they did Toph really well." But seeing how people really, really like the changes apparently on Twitter, but it's Twitter, the people are liking the changes. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna watch season 2. I'll be real.
I give your takes an 8 out of 10.
Thank you. Yeah, there we go.